Hi, this is Thomas with Believe in the Run.
This is Robbe with Believe in the Run.
And this is Megan with Believe in the Run.
And man, we're getting close to NYC.
Yeah,
Under 3 weeks.
Under 3 weeks. And we're going to be able today to know definitively who our star athletes are going to be that are going to join us for the shakeout run. We're going to find out. I heard from New Balance, they're going to be some stellar stars. If the people show up that we think are going to show up,
it might ghost us.
Oh my God, dude. Like, I don't even care if nobody else shows up. If we'll get a chance to be running with some studs. And we just found out because is it this week that we're doing the Mike Wardian?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's our guest this week.
He said he's coming.
Which, by the way, you actually, real quick, I know a lot of people, we met a lot of people last week and we're like, I just love the intro. Sometimes I don't even listen to the guest. You should listen to the guest this week.
It's like an extended version of the intro.
It was one of my favorite conversations.
You know what I loved about it? It's like, it was like, we weren't going over his resume necessarily. I mean, we talked about his running, but it was more like a chat with like friends.
Yeah, and he was in studio, which was awesome.
Yeah.
So that was cool. So
cool.
everything's great.
And
Right.
he's a really cool dude. So I like wish him all the best, and he's killing it. So
Yes.
Anyway, let me just go through some of the people that we have coming to the shakeout run. So if you're going to want to come, it's going to be a Columbus Circle at the Fleet Feet, New York City running, powered by Jackrabbit Sports. It's a long name.
It's just going to be a pop-up in Columbus Circle in that little hall.
Anyway, we're talking Kafuzi. We're talking Laura Green. We're talking our entire team that's training to New York, which is everybody from Megan, Jared, Robbie, Featherston. Yeah, I mean, just it goes down the list. Then on top of that, I just mentioned Mike Wardian. We are also having, who else, Meg? Who else was I? I was all excited. Oh, Lindsey Hine.
Mario Frioli.
Oh, Mario Frioli. Yeah, like it's going to be like a fun place. And there's going to be swag being given away. And we're getting bagels.
Obviously bagels.
So, yeah. And there is a little bit of a time change. When we originally promoted it, it was going to be at 10 a.m.
Oh.
It's actually going to be at 10:30.
Oh.
Sleep in, people.
I can't do that.
Is Kimmy going to make it to the shakeout?
I think so.
Yes.
Okay.
Required.
Okay. Even bigger than some of the stars. And I'm not even telling you about the athletes yet.
Yeah.
But Kimmy,
my wife,
just ran a half marathon in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Crushed it
with the littlest amount of training I've ever seen from a person, and it actually annoyed me.
So it's like a family trait.
It's a tradition in the Reddit household.
Yeah. So anyway, it's going to be a blast. Definitely try to make it out there. And hey, as long as we're talking about the Baltimore Running Festival, that was a lot of fun. I actually, that course is so hard. I think I prefer to spectate it over run it.
Definitely. It was such a perfect day, though. The morning, the weather was like perfect. And yeah, it was a ton of fun. We were out there with Under Armour, following along the UA Flow Elite athletes who all had great days. Some,
first marathon.
Yeah.
So, you know how it goes.
There were some young guns out there, and then there was some people who had a little more experience. For the women, the first place was Megan DeGregorio, who is kind of I would consider her like a well-seasoned runner.
Yeah.
I mean, we had our own Brandon Rossi.
Yeah.
Running that, and he was supposed to do a quote-unquote training run.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a tempo workout for.
He nailed it. I don't think
prep for New York.
I don't think he overdid it, and I think he's ready to crush New York.
He ran at 2:48, which seems crazy to me.
Yeah.
2:49.
Yeah, 2:49.
Robbie loves flip flopping.
Just
give Brandon the extra minute. Take it from Megan.
All right, Megan's running 2:50. Anyway.
Wait, you broke 3? I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was pretty awesome. And then Robbie got some great vomit footage at the end. I
looked full on Exorcist by the one dude. They tried to give him a bucket. Yeah, that wasn't happening.
I know. I saw one of the Meg guys carrying around it looked like a Kentucky Fried Chicken bucket.
Oh.
I know. It's not chicken. It's the remnants of the chicken from the night before.
I mean, it's weird because I've seen, at the finish lines, you've seen people throw up a lot. And it's always the same stuff because it's a mixture of goo, Gatorade, and water. Yeah. So it's just like...
You know what I forgot is how many... I understand it's a marathon and people really leave it all out on the course. And when they cross the finish line, that's it. But I couldn't believe how many people
hitting the pavement.
And like getting in wheelchairs and like just
Yeah.
on the ground. Like it was like casualties left and right the whole time I was
It
there.
looked like a scene from Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
at that beach on Normandy.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
But I mean, I love that stuff. I like that gets me excited and motivated to want to just like go run hard.
I actually loved where I was on the course. So I snuck into the pre-finish shoot. So I was like up about 100 yards before. So they're still pushing and going, and you could just see like people's faces. Like when Brandon was coming in,
Yeah.
that dude's face looked like it was contorted in pain. But then some people were coming in
Smiling.
Lizzie Royer looked like she was one of the UA Flow Elite runners.
And
yeah, she just like
We
looked like a jog in the park.
don't forget, we got one of our friends to wear an Believe in the Run singlet
Yeah.
for race day.
Yeah.
He did okay.
Is it second place?
Yeah,
More than okay.
Dan Rao finished second place, broke 2:30 for the first time on a ridiculously hard course.
Yeah.
He beat all the Flow Elite runners. So
Didn't
not
wanna
too
say it,
shabby. Yeah.
Anyways, so it was an awesome day overall. I rode my bike a lot. Managed not to wreck it, despite operating a GoPro in one hand and
Yeah,
the
you
brakes on the other.
got some good footage.
It would have been fully a Robbie story though if you had hit a pothole.
I'm not gonna lie, I almost did bite it at one
Okay,
point.
I would have loved that. And like,
There was at one point I was trying to ride on the sidewalk and then come back onto the course, and I like missed the handicap ramp just by an inch and hit the curb, and like I thought I was gonna get a flat from it for sure.
Wow.
And I was with one hand on the camera. Yeah, it was close.
I'll tell you, there's one thing I would love people to stop doing at marathons.
Okay.
Okay, so we had media pass, so we were able to get in places that I've never really been before, which in this case was on the starting line, so that we could film the athletes as they lined up in the front.
Yeah.
And inevitably, there's a person that gets up there in the very, very front of a marathon.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like a New York City, but Baltimore's a city. It's a major market.
Sure.
He gets up in the very front, and I know who the guy was, and I was just like, this guy, maybe he shouldn't be up
Oh, do you
there.
mean like standing in the front when you shouldn't be racing in the front?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All runners do that.
That's
No
just a
one,
thing.
if it's self-seating in corrals, no one listens.
But they do it. You know why they're doing it. They want to be on that picture. They want to be on the TV
Yeah.
coverage. I mean, he literally got dropped within like 4 strides.
Right.
I think it's 50% that and 50% that people honestly think that they are going to be one of the fastest people on the day. And then they find out at mile 20, that is not the case.
I don't know. There was a guy that, I raced against him, and I know that
Yeah.
there's no way I should
I'm
ever
with
be
you.
in the front.
Here's the other thing. I thought this is what you were gonna say because this happened too when we were at the finish line. Some rando came down, like had his shirt off,
Jumped the
no
chute.
bib, just like jumped the chute, and he would have been top 10 if he was like it was.
Well, that was the thing. I saw him coming, and like since we were in several places on the course, I
Yeah.
was like, I mean, he looked like a runner, but we were on the course several places, and I was like, this guy's coming in like 3rd or 4th place. I'm like, I haven't seen this guy all day.
Yeah, he clearly wasn't in the race, and then but he gets everyone cheering for him and run to the chute. He probably got a medal.
Yeah, I'm sure. But he also, the other thing is he gets that, like, the reporters all, because it's like first top 10 people,
Right.
you're getting all that attention from, the other thing.
That was annoying.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I didn't tell you this, Meg. There was a dude who finished in the top 10, and he came up to me at the finish line and was like, "Thank you so much for grit. Grit is why I did this." He was like,
I told you which guy it was because he's in a lot of our photos.
He's like, I PR'd by 20 minutes, and it was because of grit.
And it was insane because he was top 10. Like he was,
Yeah, he was like 2:45 or something like that.
Wait, did you say that was his first marathon, or he was just inspired to run faster?
no, because they said he PR'd.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I'm guessing.
just to like he put in tons of miles and like work into
That's the best.
Yeah.
I do feel like my summer grit, the mileage gets you, if not the endurance, what it did for me was it makes that 26.2 not seem quite as far.
Daunting.
That's
Yeah.
definitely true.
Yeah.
Yeah, just doing a lot of miles doesn't seem as far
Yeah.
of a reach as before.
Should we tease our winter grit?
Yeah, why
Might
not?
as well. Yeah, go for it.
So it's coming back, in case anyone was wondering.
The swag.
The ASICS is coming back as title sponsor, and everyone will be getting very cool jackets.
It's a zip.
Zip
It's
up.
like a quarter zip.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
But the quarter zip, if you were to go buy it, costs twice as much as the registration for the event.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so registration, we'll put out more details in the next couple of weeks, but registration will open on Black Friday, which is November 25th. And it will be like a one-day only sale, so the lowest price of the year. And yeah.
And there'll be a beanie as well.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you can't beat that.
Yeah.
So mark your calendars. And
I saw someone last week at the grocery store. I was wearing my grit sweatshirt. I was checking out, and somebody came up to me and was like, I don't know, they're kind of creeping on me. And she looks at me. She's like, "Nice sweatshirt," and she was wearing the same one.
Nice.
I love it.
Like, yes.
It is fun. Like every once in a while when we see somebody wearing like the gear.
The Believe hats at Baltimore Marathon were super cool. Like there were tons of Believe hats out there.
Yeah, it was awesome. The white one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a pretty good day.
Did you hear about what happened with the woman that won Boston?
It's unfortunate what happened.
I'm glad that she was caught.
So for anyone who hasn't heard, the 2021 female winner, Diana, I'm probably going to say her last name wrong, Karaoke,
That looks pretty, yeah, I think that's right.
was suspended, and they're going to take away her spot, her win, because she was caught with a banned substance.
Okay. And sometimes there's a little ambiguity and people try to say they didn't do it, and their managers and their teammates
And
are
they
all
ate
like,
a burrito.
they're all
Yeah.
like, no, she would never do that. What did her manager say?
This is a quote. He said, "Diana is completely guilty. I am sorry."
I love it. Actually, I appreciate that
Well,
for once.
I think what's great about that is this guy is a rep for Kenyan runners.
Yeah.
The thing that will damage Kenyan running more than anything else is if they get labeled cheaters.
Right.
So I love that he's like, hey, this is unacceptable.
Yeah.
I didn't know this was happening. This is bad. Now, the drug that she was using, you can use.
Do you want to try and say it?
All right. Let me see.
Triamcinolone acetonide.
Acetonide. Yeah.
It could go a lot of ways here.
Triclosenide?
It's a steroid,
Yeah.
essentially, and
They ain't
typically
legal.
it's used. Well, so it is legal if you use it topically.
Yeah, for eczema.
It's
okay.
like for
What is the
it's
name
like
of that?
reduces swelling and inflammation for people with like skin issues.
And repairs skin. So what it does, if you inject it, swallow it, or stick it up your butt.
I feel like my skin's been dry lately, so maybe I should check that out.
Dude, I don't think it helps if you use it topically. I think that's why you're allowed
Well, I'm just
to.
saying, use it
You need-
topically, then maybe every other, like, once a week,
Yeah.
see what happens.
Okay.
Maybe miss the mark.
It apparently is illegal in that form. And guess who, if you Google it, because I was like, how can I get some? It's for dogs.
Yeah, so it's used a lot for dogs, and also there was another athlete who used it, so prior to 2022, you could also use it in an injection form if it was like for a local area. So like the one woman said her Achilles had an issue, so they injected it into her Achilles, which was okay, but now they're no longer saying that's allowed anymore.
Why? What is the side effect if you inject it?
It just reduces inflammation. I mean, I don't know.
Reduces inflammation and helps.
I'm gonna be honest.
The other crazy thing about, so there's an article on Let's Run which goes over all of this, the whole story, and part of it was this interview with the agent who came out and said, she's guilty, and he also said this isn't going to stop because in Kenya and in these East African countries, first place versus 10th place is life changing.
Oh, I thought you were going to say they have a lot of eczema or something.
No, it's because
It's very dry up in the high altitude.
They're willing to risk everything to change their livelihood.
Yeah, I get that.
He said, what was the price differences? Like first place was 100,000, second place was
150,000 versus 10th place, which is $5,500.
Yeah.
I guess they should give $150,000 to all places.
Well, no.
Problem solved.
Yeah.
Everyone gets a finisher medal and $150,000.
You get a check.
I will say, while you were talking about the dog stuff, I was looking at Ralphie over there, and he looked pretty guilty. Like he might have been.
He always
steroids.
looks guilty.
I wish he was. I wish, because I'd love to run with him. He's the laziest dog in the world. If he's on steroids, it's
There's
the
your
wrong
solution.
kind. Yeah.
Okay, wow. Yeah, that is the worst though. I mean,
It's just unfortunate.
It's just so messed up for
Yeah.
who finished second in that race. Was it Sally Kipchoge or who was it?
Well, the thing is,
Diana Kipchoge. Yeah, right.
No, that's who.
Oh, sorry. No, she was the one. Yeah. Sorry, that's who got suspended.
while we're finding that out,
Oh, and the Kippo got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot.
So, yeah. I mean, and she's just a legit, all out
Yeah.
like great runner who's had
yeah, we
who's
hope
been-
so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would assume, but it just sucks.
I feel it's so brutal for like the American runners who are working so hard to
Like the
find
one
out.
that ate the burrito.
Well,
Look, here's the thing. I think it's the thing that's weird to me. Okay, so she won $150,000, right?
yeah.
So, proven that she's guilty, she should have to give that money back, right?
Yeah.
But what happens if she spent it?
Yeah. We should put
Okay.
it in the Shibu Inu coin or whatever.
Yeah, or more drugs. A pharmacy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so now does Boston have to write another check
That's what I was wondering.
for the second place person who's now the first place person?
I don't
There's
know.
insurance somewhere involved that's going to pay for something.
Here's what I legitimately don't understand is how it takes like 2 years to figure this out. Like, or to
Was this 2 years or was this last year?
2021, April.
Was it April or was it the?
Or October.
It was the October one, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
a
it's
year.
a year, but still, it's like if you test them because they get tested like right after, right?
Well, and she tested positive, but I guess you can have reasons to have taken this.
Okay.
So they have to go and do like
Oh yeah,
the background.
they kept asking her who was the doctor who prescribed this to you.
And she changed the name of the doctor 3 times.
Dr. Crentis.
Doctor who?
Do you remember that Office episode where they're like, "What dentist did you use?" And he's like, "Dr. Crentis for his dentist for Michael Scott."
Yeah.
Anyways,
So I think they have to like solidify and make sure that it was used incorrectly before they can full on.
Speaking of years, we just hit a milestone apparently. Ben Johnson DM'd me because I guess on LinkedIn, which I never go on. So, hey, if you're trying to get to me on LinkedIn,
Good luck.
yeah, I almost want to just delete it. I think LinkedIn is one of the worst places on
yeah.
social media. It's just like, hey, look, this is my business, and we're doing great
right.
things on my business. And can I
Anyway,
help
finish your
you
story.
get your business? Anyway, so he sent me a little notice he got that said, we're 8 years in Big Run Media.
Oh,
So the website, Believe in the Run's older than that.
right.
But for 8 years, we've been doing,
On your own.
Big Run Media, like as a career.
Wow. Lucky 8.
Yeah.
That feels pretty good. They say most startups die after what, 1 to 2 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you make, like I remember when we crossed like the 3-year threshold.
You're like, we did it.
Yes.
We're not homeless.
Yeah.
Hooray.
We made it. Yeah. So no, it is kind of exciting. I mean,
Yeah, that's awesome.
2 years will be 10 years in Big Run Media. Believe in the Run started in 2009. I can't even do that math.
Yeah, that's you need a
Calculator.
What is a
slide?
slide
His instrument.
slide rule or what?
What's that? TI 84s?
Yeah.
83s?
83s and 84s. I think 84 was a fancier one.
It definitely was.
Maybe an abacus. I don't know.
It's crazy that you used to play Snake on calculators and think that was cool.
Yeah.
That's all we had.
Boobies.
Yeah, just type in 8008. Yeah, that's always a good time.
Here, flip it upside down.
Yeah, man, think about the stuff that used to entertain us.
Yeah.
that was
Wow.
like finding out how many words you could type in the calculator was a legitimate form of entertainment back then.
Yeah.
Well, just think about now, like where we'll be in 20, 30 years from now, that we're going to be like, "Pfft, we used to stare at a flat screen for hours.
Yeah, dude. Speaking of that, so after that night, after the race, Baltimore Running Festival, it was my wife's birthday that day. So we went out and then went to karaoke at Walt, which is crazy. I've been there like 3 times.
I was
in the
going
last
to
6
say,
months.
did they know you when you walk in?
Yeah, it's Yeah, it's wild.
I
Anyways,
feel like there should be like a once a year limit at Walt's.
yeah,
like
you
you're
can't
really
overdo
pushing it.
It just so happened that that's, just
For those
Okay.
of you
that way.
listening, let's just describe Waltz a
Oh
little bit.
Lord.
It is like walking into a trailer home. Like,
It actually
It's like
is
going back
that.
in time.
but it's a very rectangular. It smells a little weird.
I wish they could still smoke in there because it would set the vibe off like properly.
Yeah, and it's
The woman makes these Jello shots in her kitchen at home and then brings them into this bar. It is not safe for
it's
anyone.
fluorescent lighting.
Works for me.
It's like white paneling. I literally
The
feel
drop
like
ceiling.
I at one point my mom had a mobile home, and when I walk into Waltz, I'm like I'm in someone's mobile home right now.
Yeah. There is this dive bar that my grandpa always used to go to because he was an alcoholic, but my friend's dad owned it, and they lived above the bar, and it was like a real dive bar, and it reminds me of that because it's just like it's like everything has that yellowish tint to it.
Well, it's like when you used to be able to smoke there. They
Yeah.
didn't clean it after you weren't allowed to smoke
Right.
there, and now there's like fluorescent lights, and so you see the.
Yeah, but they have a good like karaoke setup. Not great, but pretty good. And
It's the only one.
and if you get there early enough, you can throw in a few songs and get them played. But I was there, and it's kind of a younger crowd, like 20s. So they're doing karaoke, and by the way, my wife crushed "Gangster's Paradise."
Oh, wow.
By Coolio, rest in peace. And yeah, and the younger people were doing these songs, and it was like Linkin Park, like
The classics.
Taking Back Sunday, like someone did Smash Mouth All Star. I'm like, what the is happening? Like, why are they playing these songs? Like, they're not even like cool or like ironic. And then I realized, oh, I'm really old, and these are like classics to them.
Like to them, those are the ones that they listen to in the car on the way to school with their
Yeah,
mom.
it was like us. It would be like us in the early 2000s doing 80s songs, like "Wake Me Up," like that blew my mind. I was like, oh my gosh, like
I think what's the hardest thing to think about is like I feel like in the past there's big transitions between even decades. So
Right.
like
There's, like,
70s music, 80s music,
totally.
90s music, and then we hit the 2000s. It's just like Taylor Swift forever.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. That's totally true. From like late 90s even to like, I don't even know are there genres anymore? It's just like there's like EDM and then everything else.
I mean, even like I go back to like classic rap. Like I love the 80s rap, EPMD, early Beastie Boys. Not and then in the 90s you had Naughty by Nature and
Yeah.
all that stuff. And
I feel like there's been nothing like really new, like defining in the last 20 years.
well, it's weird that who's the kid who did the opening for the track at New Balance?
Jack Harlow.
Yeah, Jack Harlow, and they're like talking to him like he's revolutionized rap, and I'm like,
I feel like I've heard this song 1,000 times before.
yeah, I'm like, I don't get it. Like, and maybe that is the age thing. It's like what's old is new again, and
But
we're
I
just
feel-
like, it doesn't sound new.
I feel like Turnstile was like the freshest thing like we've heard recently, and that's because, but this also has like a 90s vibe to it, so that's might be why I like it.
Well, what I like about it is when people kind of cross over genres. So,
Yeah.
like, I think what was so big about Nirvana when it came out is it took that heavy metal and then softened it with the
Grunge, or I guess they just started grunge.
what do you call it when you go like from one transition to another in the song? You should know this, like almost like the harmony versus
The bridge.
That's what I thought you were
I don't.
saying.
Maybe it is like they'll go hard and it sounds like heavy metal, and then they would go into like
It's just like transition,
and then
yeah.
back and forth. So it kind of mix that up. And what I like about Turnstile, and people, if you haven't listened to Turnstile,
Yeah.
throw a couple of the songs on your playlist and check them out. But they do the same thing where it's kind of like you get that anger from
Yeah.
like the heavy metal, but then that it's a safe place.
Yeah,
from,
like releases.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, exactly. And anyways, but all that to say, speaking of getting old, like when they put on Smash Mouth for karaoke, I was like, this is not real. Like
Shrek is in the corner.
right. I think Shrek might. There's a guy that looked like Shrek in the corner for sure.
Was he telling people to stay out of his swamp?
I think so. Yeah. Anyways, so that was an interesting time, but Then, yeah, and then what else happened? How's your running going, by the way? Because we didn't really talk about that.
I mean, this is my first week back to running. I just did my first speed workout today.
Oh.
And like it was minute on, minute off.
Gloves weather today, baby.
I did.
know.
This is our hidden gem.
Oh, you wanted to
I
talk
did
about
want
this.
to talk about this.
Yeah.
Okay, here is one of the lowest cost items that I think every runner should have in their like closet. I don't know what you call it. Your gear box.
Yeah, it's that drawer by the box by the door where
Yeah.
you just throw stuff in.
Now you're not going to use them all year round, but these little knit gloves. It was perfect weather. It was like feels like 39 today when I left for my run. So we had at one point gone to Amazon, bought like 20 pairs of black knit
Like, is that
gloves.
what you type into Amazon?
Something
You're
like
going to
that.
tell people about
Megan
these
will look
amazing
it up.
gloves. And
Anyway, I mean, you can get them, like, you don't need to, like, come up with it, but Meg will pull it up on Amazon so
I'll
we can get the
I'll
exact
look
name.
too.
But they're the kind of, I think when you buy 20 of them, it's like $20 for the pack.
Oh, you're right.
And then you can just throw, like, they're great because if you're at a race and you're at the start, you just put these on, and if you hands warm up, you can just throw them off to the side. It doesn't matter. I'm sure that yarn is biodegradable.
Dude, there's a ton of you type black knit gloves that look like a serial killer's paradise in here.
Yeah.
It's like,
But like, what are the prices?
yeah, it's ridiculously cheap. For
You can get 16 pairs for $20.
Right.
that seems like
So-
that seems wrong.
So it's a little over $1 a pair. So I actually hold on to them because, like, if I can, I'll just tuck them in a pocket when I
Yeah.
take them off. But for this where it's not bitterly cool. Like if it's under 30, I probably want a more quality
Right.
glove. But above that, these are great.
Yeah, you're probably right on that. That's a good idea. I mean, yeah,
I will just throw out a little warning label here. If you're going to use them for like racing, or you need to like take gels or something out on the course, they've got no grip.
yeah.
Yeah, but you just
It's a struggle bus.
They're
No,
also
you
75 cents a pair.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just toss them off at that point.
But you can also just bite your top off.
Yeah.
And
I'm not good at that.
you can't just rip it.
I feel like it's like never works for me.
Try it with a Morton.
Maybe I need to sharpen up my
Yeah.
teeth.
If you're using goo, it probably slides around a little bit. But the Morton has a
That's probably what
little
it
texture
is.
to the top.
I think it's the squeeze, the little tab that messes.
Yeah.
It's like it's
The Morton
too
is-
little. Okay.
But yeah, the gloves, that's my tip of the week is like grab and you know what? If you have a bag of 16 of those in your house, you're going to use the kids one day.
Stocking stuffers.
Yeah.
Oh,
but your kids,
that.
like, you know, your kids, you're going to run out one day and you don't want to give them your nice gloves that are $30, $40, but you'd be like, here's a pair of $1.50 gloves.
We should just screen print those gloves and do Tracksmith style and sell them for $40.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll work. I mean, Tracksmith put a rabbit on knit gloves, and how much? Look at those up. How much are those?
They're like
they are like
they're like
that much.
$60 probably.
No
way.
No way.
What do you mean no way?
$60
For a knit
oh
glove?
for the NDO gloves.
The
Is that what you
NDO
mean?
gloves probably are 60. The knit ones, they can't do that to people.
Remember
Sure
those?
can.
So today I wore those A6 gloves that we got last year that are literally the worst gloves I've ever worn in my entire life.
Well, the problem is it's like the fingertips get cold.
I don't know what it's like they put on fingertips that are magically disappear when you put them on. Like,
Well, it's supposed to help you use your phone or something. Instead, it's just cold fingertips.
it's bad. So if you ever get those gloves,
I do
sorry,
have to
Asics,
say
but they're
the
horrible.
A6 tights, though,
Oh, I love them.
Those are nice.
those are super bad. Super good, but like super bad, like
Wow,
you know, like Michael Jackson.
Okay, we have
Wait,
to clarify that.
I don't know if Michael Jackson's still super bad.
Yeah.
He is just in a different way than you're thinking.
Shamu.
Let me see. I was looking up these gloves. They have a lot of accessories that. Oh, of course they have a tote. I forgot they have a tote.
Yeah.
I know that's happening.
Okay, again, nobody responded to our tote conversation last week. I'm gonna throw it out there again. Who wants a tote?
I think I did see someone respond.
Okay, why are people
If no one's responding, Thomas, that's your answer.
that people like totes?
People don't want a tote.
All right,
No one's going to take the time to say, I don't want a tote. They're going to reach out if they want one.
all right.
Those gloves, by the way, are,
You got to read between the lines
Wait,
on that one.
hold on. Price incoming. Did you find them?
if they're the ones that look like those, they're $38.
Okay.
Or you can get 75 pairs on Amazon.
They might actually be like merino, which would make a
They
difference.
could probably be merino. Maybe they're lined, but the ones that I'm talking
They
about,
are merino, so that's actually
Yeah.
pretty legit.
yeah, and
Plus you
you're
get that-
not going to throw them away.
You get that rabbit
Are
on
they
it.
lined?
I don't think those ones are lined. No.
All right. What are the ones that we were talking about? They're probably acrylic or something.
Yeah, it's like polyester. Like
Yeah,
your
but they
typical-
work. Like I used them this morning on my speed workout.
I'm a big fan of the convertible mittens. Yes.
I am and I'm not.
No?
Here's what I hate about them. They're great when they're mittens,
Yeah.
but I hate like some have the tuck in
Yeah, I like
thing,
that.
and then you got a big old lump on the back here.
I like the little pocket.
All right.
It's like kangaroo shoes for when you're a kid.
Yeah. I don't know. My favorite glove for really cold weather happens to be a Tracksmith one. It's the one with the mitten,
The NDO.
and then you put the mitten over the mitten.
yeah.
That's a lot of mitten
It-
action.
it's so, but your hands get sweaty. It's so hot in there. So you can just ball up in a fist
yeah.
and let it go. But
There's this one pair of gloves we got like several years ago made by Outdoor Research. They're still the best gloves I've ever worn. I wish I could.
I have
find the exact-
those.
They're
The ones
so
with it,
freaking
that's the
good.
convertible.
No, it wasn't a convertible. It was just a normal
Oh,
glove.
hey, speaking
Anyways.
of which, do we have an article on winter running gear
Not
on
yet.
the website?
Not yet.
Okay, we should do that, and we should put these little knit gloves from Amazon on there, even though,
Okay.
whatever. But speaking of gear, I did my workout this morning. Meg, you did your workout,
I did.
and I used the New Balance SC. It's so hard for me with the SC Elite and RC Elite, but this is the
They
SC
really got us
Elite
confused.
3.
The
And,
New York City colorway,
yeah.
it's looking pretty good.
Robbie, what do you think of this colorway? I kind of like it. Looks like Spider-Man to me.
I'm gonna be real. I don't like it, but I know a lot of people love it,
Whoa.
which is fine.
It does seem to
Do
get.
you not like America?
No, I'm a huge fan of America.
I mean, the shoe screams America.
I just don't like.
I think it screams
on my
Spider-Man.
shoes. It does. I'm gonna go with more Spider-Man.
Okay,
vibes.
so you don't like Spider-Man.
I do love Spider-Man.
mean-
I prefer Venom though.
Oh, you know what's
interesting.
interesting about that? Explain.
So I have to make a birthday cake for the boys every year.
Uh-huh.
This year, Thea requested Venom.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I've been like really struggling with it because like that tongue's super weird.
Yeah.
and it's a whole thing. But yeah,
Wow. If you could, I gotta see this. If you could pull it off. When is their birthday?
his is the
30th.
30th, but I'll make it before then. So
I think
wait.
it's this weekend, right?
Are
potentially,
you gonna keep Ralphie in a cage for the?
I'm buying specifically a cake
Okay.
thing with a topper so that he can't.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, it really does have Spider-Man vibes. You got the silver
Yeah.
flying NB across the toe. It's got that orangish red with the blue. It does seem to people on the internet are digging it. Like whenever you
Oh,
see
yeah.
a post, people are like all over it. I don't know if it's just because people love the race day shoes.
I think I know why.
Okay.
Oh,
And this is why I didn't love the Nova Blast. Is that I don't like gradients on shoes. I don't know why. It's just like my style preference.
I would agree with you on that.
I'm typically with you too.
I don't like the airbrush gradients on the
Yes.
midsole and stuff like that.
I think that's what's throwing me
Yeah.
off.
I could see that. But overall,
Yeah.
when you're running in the shoe and you have that toe down, you
Yeah.
don't see the gradient. It's
That's
just
true.
red and it's flashy, and you got that nice flying NB coming across the toe.
So what do you think about the shoe? Because a lot of people are asking. A lot of people are asking about it.
Well, it's a big improvement over the RC Elite 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like the RC Elite 2 was a little bit of compromise because of the weight. This one seems to, like it feels more nimble on the foot.
I also felt like the RC2 was squishier, and like this one has a little bit more pop.
Okay,
Yeah, that makes sense.
that's good.
Um,
Does it feel like I haven't run in mine yet. So does it feel like the SC Trainer but in a racing shoe?
yeah, it feels like if you took the SC Trainer and you made it really light,
Yeah,
and gave it a little more pop off the toe.
yeah.
I gotta say I do love the SC Trainer. I didn't think I was gonna love it at first, and then I've really worn it for a lot now.
I
And
actually didn't like it when I first started running in it.
Yeah.
I was like, this is way too heavy. It's this, but then I was also thinking of it as
A ratio.
yeah, a ratio, and it's not. It's a cruiser.
yeah.
This one feels you can go fast in this one. I think you're really gonna like it if you like the trainer.
trainer.
Are you gonna wait and not wear it until
No, I'll wear it.
November 6th and then just wear it for 26.2?
No, I'll wear it beforehand. I won't do what I did during my 50,
That would be
50K and wear Brooks Caldera out of the box.
Such an epic.
That worked
Robbie
out for you though.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
I didn't get my dialing in right, and I got blisters in the first half. So I wouldn't say it worked out.
Yeah.
The only caveat I would put to this, and some of the details that are before I get into the caveat. I love saying caveat. Anyway,
It's a good word.
Anyway, some of the details on here for the New York edition are a special New York City Marathon logo on the. Would you call this a tongue?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you've got a pull tab that has the TCS New York City Marathon on it. You've got NYC on the instep. The colors obviously feel very. If you like Spider-Man, Spider-Man's New York to me.
Yeah.
And the insole.
Yeah, and the insole has the New York Roadrunners logo and New Balance, and just kind of like a neat little design. So, like, if you're into like collecting and you want that event shoe, you're gonna dig this.
Except I think it might be sold out. It went on sale they
They gotta have some at the expo.
Okay.
I know that they sold out real quick, but check out the expo. They gotta save
Because
some
the
for
actual
expo.
version of the shoe, like the standard version, doesn't come out till February 2023.
Right. And I've been running in the pair that I ran in London is a version of this shoe, but it has a different foam. And
Fancy.
yeah, it's
Rich.
Yeah. It's pretty. I have to say I'm liking the shoe. I used the other one today for my workout, and my legs felt like Tin Man, like
Not elite?
rusty. Yeah, non-elite.
The non-elite Tin
But
Man.
You can get it.
I did my repeats.
It's still available.
Just sold out in 8 and 12.5.
For
So if
women?
that's your size, this is men's.
Oh, really?
They must have restocked.
Yeah, because it was
out.
sold out in other sizes yesterday, like 9.5.
I did have a lady DM us that she's like, I got up to go to the bathroom tonight and I ended up buying a pair because I didn't want to miss out. So,
The most expensive bathroom break.
which is interesting because like we did that interview with the guy from Helix last week,
Yeah.
and I was talking about how women are buying the Vaporflies and the other shoes that are on men's lasts because we were talking about women specific and racing them and seeing success in those shoes. And then we were talking to a friend, and he said the breakdown of men buying super shoes versus women buying super shoes. What do you think it would be?
Oh, that is a good question. Well, more women run marathons, right, than men?
Yep.
So it'd have to, I guess it would be skewed that way.
Mm-mm.
It's not.
No, 85% of men are buying them. Well, 15% of women.
I guessed 80-20.
Are you
I was pretty
kidding me?
close.
Yeah. So it seems like there's a big market for women to go, hey, you know what? I can run fast. I should buy myself a pair of fast shoes.
Why is that? Do you think because men are more like gear,
I think
gear related?
I mean,
gear
that would be my
minded?
guess is that guys are like, I got to have,
Latest tech.
yeah, the tech. And women are like, hey, I can run pretty fast in these. What do I need that for? I mean, think about Megan Featherston. She was running sub 3 in pyramids.
But also,
wave,
Go.
when
wave
you
shoe.
say more women run marathons, that's not true. More women run races. It's
Oh.
under the marathon distance.
Oh, okay.
More men run marathons.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Thank
Just
God
Something
Megan's
we
here.
should know.
Yeah.
So we're running.
But even
website.
still, I know that if women got this shoe on their feet, they're going to have a good experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen up, women.
Yeah, let us tell you.
Let us mansplain to you
Okay.
why you should buy super shoes.
Or let Megan tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, Megan, how much do you love running in when it's workout days, throwing on a fast day shoe?
I mean, I love it. It's part of the reason I think why I love workouts so much is because I know I can put on a fast day shoe
I mean, I've seen you sometimes take a fast day shoe out.
on an easy run.
Yeah, just because you're like, I want the comfort and the cushion because these feel better.
Yeah. And I feel like you recover quicker. There's a whole slew of reasons why I love super shoes.
Yeah. And some people will say, hey, you got to be a certain pace to get the most out of the shoe. But there's been studies that say actually the worse your form is and the worse your pace is,
Well, the better
more
you-
benefit
yeah.
you're getting from the foams and the stuff.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's enough nonsense for today. I mean, we could probably come up with some other stuff, Robbie.
Yeah.
How's your running coming real quick?
It's all right. Actually, it's not great, but I have some residual stuff from when I rolled my ankle the last time, so it's not my ankle. It's just like something my Achilles maybe.
Like loose cartilage and stuff floating
Who
around.
knows? So I'm like basically just running the SC trainer, and I'll put running in air quotes.
You should just try these.
I will. I just wanted to have like maybe a fast day, so maybe next week.
Yeah.
We'll get there. I'll run the New York City Marathon. It'll be something for sure.
It'll be something.
And your training's going well, Meg? You feel good after London?
Yeah, this morning was the first time I tried to pick it up a little bit, and it felt a little rusty, but I feel pretty good about going into New York.
I was worried about lungs after
Me too.
the COVID. It doesn't seem to be a big issue right now.
I'm not gonna lie, I was like really terrified this morning to try and run hard.
I was afraid a leg would fall off.
I just thought my insides are gonna be like, you can't do this anymore.
It's just like
That's good to hear.
I said to Megan, but she's a lovely coach and tells me nice things. But I'm like, my minute repeats were slower than her marathon pace. So her marathon pace for Boston was 6:20 something.
Yeah.
And and I'm like, okay, minute repeat. I was supposed to be running 6:45s. I was all around that, like lower, higher, like there was 10 of them. So I was like, but it was like right around there.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this is really hard. I'm like, for a minute.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't even fathom. Like, it's so weird. And Megan's like, it's all relative. It's effort and this. And I'm like, I know, but I'm like got legs and I have knees and I bend in the same places.
Yeah. I have a body.
Yeah. How come this is like me, like with like bolts falling out and it's like, okay, I'll just cruise. This is cruising.
That's
like,
just
what did
life,
you do
dude.
your repeats at today?
I did a totally different workout.
Okay. But what were your repeats?
My mile repeats were like 6:20s.
Yeah. That makes sense. That's like basically a 5K pace for.
Ugh, disgusting.
Anyway.
All right. So, yeah, I guess we better wrap up. All right. So let's get into the interview that we are super excited about, talking to Mike Wardian. What a charmer.
Yeah, he's a great dude.
Yeah.
I've always kind of looked up to him because he just does crazy stuff. Like,
speaking of Spider-Man, he's got the world record for running in Spider-Man.
yeah, and other ones, which you'll find out in the podcast. So stay tuned to hear all about that.
Yeah.
All right.